However you move in the world, whether you march, walk, wheel, dance, shimmy, or shake, whether you come in joyous, tearful, nervous, afraid, proud, defiant, angry, happy, delirious, tentative, ecstatic, courageous, brave, or free, whether we arrive ready to sing, shout, chant, be silent, whether you would be seen as a stereotype, be unseen, be flamboyant, be ordinary, know yourself as lost, the lonely, the found. This chalice is lit for you. We are, each of us, whole and holy. Come, let us worship together. Will you please add your voice to ours as we sing hymn number 23 in our great hymnals, or the words are on the screen. Bring many names.
Greetings, and welcome to All Souls Church Unitarian. Welcome to all the good folks gathered in the sanctuary, online, or watching this recording. My name is Shari Gilbert. My pronouns are she, her. Happy World Pride DC, y'all. This is the third Pride service held here at All Souls, and we're only 8 days into June. Reverend Anastasia shared a reading with me from Victoria Safford's Walking Toward Meeting. It's titled, Any Other Questions? And these are the first 3 paragraphs. People ask me sometimes, is this a gay church? It is a privilege to answer. Ours is absolutely, gladly, hopefully, humbly, gaily a gay church, a gay tradition, where everyone, including heterosexual members and friends, is welcome, where everyone is needed, where everyone's experience is cherished as a sacred text, because no one's experience of living or loving can be comprehensive, because each of us holds clues the others need about how to live with dignity and joy as a human person, and none of us knows enough about that yet to be considered whole. It is absolutely a gay church, even as ours is a gay world, if you would look around. Gay church, straight church, people's church, a human congregation made holy by the holy hopes and fears and dreams of all who wish to come. Come in, we say. Come out. Come in. We're all in this together. Welcome to our gay church. Today may be your first or second time here, or you may have taken a hiatus and are back anew. If you are new or newish, maybe you could raise your hand or wave or put a hello in the Zoom chat so that we can give you an All Souls welcome. Welcome. I turn your attention to the connection card in your order of service or posted in the chat. Each week, the connection card offers new opportunities for us to stay connected with each other. We want to know how you're doing, support your engagement with this community, and make communicating with us easier for you. We particularly appreciate visitors filling in your mailing address so we can send you a gift. And first-time visitors, if you bring your connection card to the welcome table during coffee hour in Pierce Hall, which is across the hall and to my left, you will receive a free gift. Yep, 1 card for 2 gifts. We're so happy you've joined us today. We pause to honor the Piscataway people who steward the waters and lands of this region, now known as Washington, D.C., for generations. We acknowledge the painful reality of their dispossession and the enslaved peoples whose lives were exploited in the making of this city and the ongoing legacy of imperialism. Let's reflect on Simon Moya Smith's June 2021 words in NBC's online Think magazine. To be gay, lesbian, gender non-conforming, non-binary, or trans is a blessing to Indigenous peoples. It is a spiritual role in many nations and tribes known as Two-Spirit. If a Native person is Two-Spirit, they are holy people. Historically, in the Oglala Lakota elders of where this writer lived, was a member, to be Two-Spirit means that you have the spirit of a man and a spirit of a woman. It means that you've been blessed by the Creator with the lens of both, and that's what we call good medicine. As we honor the past and commit to justice in the present, we turn to the covenant that binds us together, a shared promise of love, service, and community. Please rise in body or spirit to speak our Sunday covenant together. Love is the spirit of our people, and service is our call. To build the beloved community, to seek fuller truths in our love, to dwell together in peace, to offer aid and affirmation, and to tend to our mutual well-being. This is our covenant. And now may we joyfully greet each other. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm going to invite my young friends to come up and join me for our time for all ages. It's never too late, and we got some front row seating. So, beloveds, we were supposed to have a child dedication today, but yesterday Sylvan's mom let me know that he's contagiously sick, as are others in his family. I know. So, we're gonna postpone that. Now, we love child dedications, right? This is called a conversation. This is delightful. So now, one reason we love child dedications is just the cuteness, right? Incredible cuteness factor. But there's also just something heartwarming about having someone in our community introduced to us. It being shared like, here's this person. This is their name. Do we agree that we're going to be friends and journey together in community? And that is such a wonderful thing. Now, here's a piece of information that I don't know if you know, is before they were called child dedications, They were called naming ceremonies. That's what we used to call them for a really long time, naming ceremonies, because in it, the parents would share the child's name and share sometimes about the significance of that name. Perhaps that name was chosen because it was a name of a relative. Or perhaps that name was chosen because it has a meaningful story behind it. Or the meaning of the name is nice, or it just sounds nice. But it generally reflected the hope for that child. And we all know in those ways, names are really, like parents put a lot of thought into names. Names are really important. And names are generally important to us. One way that we know that names are important to us is that it really hurts when someone uses our name kind of in an unpleasant way. Like people used to say in elementary school, my last name is Zinke, they used to be like Stinky Zinky. Yeah, right? Or other names like that. Or people, anytime someone calls us the wrong name, it hurts, right? When they use a name that's unflattering. And I have to say, it's not even always just a bullying thing. I have 4 nieces, which is awesome. 2 from one sister and 2 from another sister. And when the 3rd niece was born, the 2, our family went down to visit, and my little 2-year-old or 3-year-old niece was having a wonderful time flitting around in this like poofy dress with like angel wings on and just delivering little precious things into grown-ups' hands and going like, ding. And my sister's partner, Uncle Otis, said, "Why, thank you, Tinkerbell." And about 3 minutes later, I found little 3-year-old Adelaide crying, like sobbing to herself. And I said, "Adelaide, what happened? You were just so happy." And she said, "Uncle Otis called me. He was name calling." And I said, "Name calling? What did he call you?" "Tinkerbell." And I said, "Oh, well, honey, like Tinkerbell's like a sweet name." And she goes, "But it's not my name. Why wouldn't he call me by my name?" And I thought, oh, yes, names are so important. We want to be called by our true name. Now, thinking about the child dedication we almost had today and how it used to be called a naming ceremony reminded me that we actually have another ceremony called a renaming ceremony that I don't know if you guys have gotten to see. Some of you might have. And it is when a grown-up comes forward, it's generally a grown-up, to say that they are claiming a new name, a name for themselves that they've thought about and considered, that has meaning for them, that is more true than the name that they were given when they were born by their parents. And often this renaming is because they've recognized another truth about themselves, that perhaps when they were born, their parents thought they were a girl and now they're a man, or their parents thought that they were a boy and now they're a woman, or perhaps they're a little bit of both and they wanted to choose a name that reflects who they truly are now that they know. So I have seen Camilla become Cameron or Kate become Kai. And those moments, that recognition and that reintroduction to community happens in a renaming ceremony. And so I hope that we know that that is part of what we do here too. We bless those new names, those true names. And so hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do that here in our supporting and affirming and community. Let us think about that as you go to join Laura to follow your way to your classes, or our youth make our way upstairs, or you may return to your families back in the pews. Let us sing Siahamba.
Good morning. Thank you, Reggie, for that beautiful song. Good morning. Good morning, All Souls. So it occurred to me that some of you may have been out late partying last night, having some fun. So congratulations on making it to church. So good morning, All Souls. All right, I'll take it. My name is Tracy Hughes. I'm the executive director here at All Souls. My pronouns are she, her, and I am delighted to be your liturgist this morning. We have a few announcements to share, and you can always learn more about all the things that are happening at All Souls if you take a look at the All Souls website, but I'll just name a few this morning. Summer has officially arrived, and that means it is time for All Souls, the All Souls annual cookout on Sunday, June 15th. If you plan to come, please bring a side dish or dessert, and we also need volunteers. You can find out more information by clicking on that QR code that's in today's order of service, or just go online. You're invited to an online conversation about DC statehood tonight from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Reeb is hosting that online conversation. Go to the All Souls calendar on the website to get the link. If you have a green thumb or just like to plant things, mark June 21st on your calendar. June 21st is Gardening Day here at the church. And finally, on June 18th, 7 p.m. will be, on June 18th at 7 p.m., we'll hold the Path to Membership class. You can find the details about the class online and in your order of service. We turn now to the joys and concerns of our congregation. Congratulations to Sherry and her partner, Steve. Steve's daughter gave birth to twin boys on Friday. They are 2 months early and are in the NICU, and I'm proud to report that mom and babies are healthy and doing well. And we're sending prayers this morning to Marianne Anderson. We're praying that her upcoming cardiac procedure will correct the AFib affecting her heart. May her recovery be smooth. I invite you now to lift up aloud in the chat or in the sacred silence of your heart the people, places, or causes that you carry here with you today. Will you pray with me? Spirit of life and love, we call on you today to soften the hearts of those who seek to suppress, erase, and deny the very existence of transgender people. Move toward compassion the politicians and the judges who are targeting the families of transgender children, attempting to invade and usurp their fundamental right to simply be free. To be free to decide for themselves what is best, what is healthy, what is life-affirming. Because everybody, no matter their body, deserves to be, to thrive, to experience joy and dignity. Spirit of life, we know you are greater than all powers and principalities who are bent on elevating intolerance and hate. We know that as a people of faith, there is nothing higher, more powerful, more holy than spirit, more holy than love. Spirit, be with us today and every day. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Lori Stone. I use they and them pronouns, and I serve All Souls Church as the manager of member engagement and communications. I have a reading for you today. Before I do it, I'd like to just say thank you all so much for being part of these last several services that we've had. I have experienced these services as a healing space, a much needed healing space. Thank you so much. This reading is called Choice by my friend and colleague, Alex Capitan. They say, I want to talk about choice. I want to talk about the fact that just because someone who is out to destroy you says you chose to be the way you are, does not mean the path of best protection is to counter with, no, I didn't. It's not a choice. I was born this way, and I've always been this way. Is who I am, my sexuality, my gender, a deep and real part of me close to my soul? Yes. Are there choices involved? Of course there are. I have made one choice after another to feel more at ease, more vibrant, more alive. I chose to change my name. I chose to allow myself to open to the idea that I might be attracted to women. I chose to open myself to the idea that, first of all, genderqueer people exist. Second, that I may be one. And third, that I might be attracted to other genderqueer people. After all of this, I chose to remain open to the idea that I was still attracted to men. And I might actually like being in a relationship with one. If I hadn't made these choices, I never could have lived into my full, authentic self. And you know, there are some things that I find more attractive than gender. Shocking, I know. I'm attracted to feminists. I'm attracted to queer people and radicals. I'm attracted to people who are assertive and like to make decisions. Is any of that hardwired genetically into me? Probably not. Is all of it impacted by culture? Definitely. But do I have every right to pursue relationships and experiences with whoever I want because it's my body and my sexuality? Yes. It doesn't matter who I seek intimacy, ecstasy, joy, or camaraderie with. Sexuality is sacred. Love is sacred. And I deserve and demand the right to full control over my body and what I do with it and who I choose to share it with. So if anyone ever tries to invalidate you or the way you seek intimacy by saying it's just a choice, tell them choice is sacred. Tell them the inherent right of every person to have full authority and agency over choices they make about their lives and their bodies is a spiritual and human imperative. That there is a word for this, and that is liberation. That there is nothing more worth fighting for. Tell them that in our faith tradition, We don't love people despite their differences or because they can't help being different. We love people because of their differences and because diversity enriches our world and our communities. Tell them that in the final reckoning, there is only one choice that will be judged, and that's their choice. Tell them you hope they choose love.
Let me just claim that I am going to be unashamed by what television I watch. Some of it is excellent, and other things, well, I just like it. For instance, when I was in my early 30s, I watched a lot of shows on the CW, a channel that catered to 18 to 26-year-old single women, and clearly me. So 14 years ago, my favorite show on the CW was called Emily Owens, MD. There was this one episode where Emily Owens, a medical resident, delivered a baby. Shortly after this baby was delivered, she and the parents recognized that the child was intersex. The baby had both female and male genitalia, and this is not what the ultrasound had led them to expect. The parents had planned for a son. They had a name picked out. The room was decorated in nice boy colors, and they were very much in that real envisioning stage of expectant parenthood. Dr. Owens explained that this happens, and she recommended a course forward. Now, gender typically, the father on the episode really resisted. And Dr. Owens honored the fact that he was in a place of real grief. And she provided him with tender care and empathy. He had expected and imagined this child who was not the child born to him. And she also provided him with sound and relevant medical counseling. She pointed out that the best way forward in terms of the child's well-being would be to let the child develop naturally, over time, on their own. She recommended that the parents wait before doing any intervention to see if the child expressed any gender identity themselves, as a boy or a girl, or perhaps both or neither, before taking any steps. She shared that to take any medical steps early on might be to make the wrong choice for their child and lead to more psychological and medical needs in the future. In the end, both parents thought and prayed in the hospital chapel and made ultimately a choice. And their choice was to love their child and to support their child. So they chose the name Sam as a nice gender-neutral name and went forward as a family. Now, here is what struck me. This was a show on a pretty minor network, and it wasn't even a significant show. It got canceled mid-season, in its first season, right in the middle of this delicious love triangle. I mean, I have searched the internet for the next episode script just to see what happens. But no, I've had to live with that mystery and wrestling and uncertainty for more than a dozen years. But I thought, never had I seen an example of someone modeling how best to be respectful, supportive, and pastoral to a family facing this situation? How best to parent? How best to be a supportive community member? And it made me wonder, if this is how this show that everyone sort of ridicules is handling it, how are we as a religious, progressive community handling this? What are we saying or doing? Because I will tell you that I had never heard a sermon or a Sunday morning devoted to lifting up transgender people within Unitarian Universalism at that point. Now, a lot has happened in 14 years, and there's been a wonderful shift, and many of our congregations have become way more affirming and welcoming, particularly as more gender fluid people and members of the LGBTQ community have moved into the pulpit. But today's sermon is really in response to that question. It's about the why and the what and the so what of being and living in a transgender world. And I want to pause here because sometimes what happens in our wonderful UU communities is when I say, we're going to do a Trans 101 class, you might want to come, or we're going to be talking about supporting trans members of our community, UUs respond by saying, oh, I am absolutely supportive of anyone marrying whomever they wish. And I say, oh, yes, yes, we love love, and we honor choice, and we support mutuality and self-determination. We believe that what matters is the relationship between people, not who those people are in their various identities going into the marriage. But what gets confused or lost is that transgender or gender identity and sexual orientation are different things. It's like asking someone, how is your eyesight, but really meaning, how good is your hearing? It's a different question. Sometimes when we line up a bunch of letters, such as LGBTQI, in our minds they're kind of like grouped together, but each one is actually something distinct and beautiful on its own. So when people transition or come out as transgender, that may affect their sexual orientation, but typically not. I just want to pause it and put an idea out there for you. And this was echoed certainly in the reading that Lori just shared with you. And I'm going to share that this is just observational. It's not scientific. This is pure Reverend Anastasia. But what I noticed is that transgender people tend to be in relationships, intimate relationships, with people who are radically authentic and radically accepting. They seek to be in relationships with people who are radically authentic and radically accepting. Aren't those qualities we could all find attractive? Maybe some of the best qualities to look for in any partner? But coming back to the main point, so what is transgender? To get to what transgender is, I have to quickly run through a couple of other definitions. First, what is sex? And I don't mean the good kind. In our species, sex is determined by the type of genetic material passed on during sexual reproduction. Typically, those with XY chromosomes, called male, contribute one necessary half, and those with XX chromosomes, called female, contribute the other necessary half. Now, it's only been relatively recent that humans have the ability to know ourselves on a genetic level. So one sex was assigned to based on one's anatomical physiology, i.e. external genitalia, typically at birth. In other words, what your body looks like at birth leads one to be assigned a certain sex. What is gender? Gender are the societal norms, rules, roles we play that are meant to indicate to others
often what are sexes? Now, it is commonplace to recognize that gender and sex were often linked, but aren't so linked anymore. In fact, we used to say this phrase, gender transgressive, which I just don't really hear anymore, and also to describe something as simple as women wearing pants in a formal setting. But now, thankfully, we just sort of shift. And we say, you know, there are a lot of ways that we can express ourselves, different styles now. And I see this fluidity particularly growing in the private sphere. But let's be honest, because there is a level of control around gender in this society that is still high. For instance, it was only in 2019 that a federal judge struck down a rule around a North Carolina charter school that prohibited girls at the school wearing pants. The school had argued that the dress code promoted traditional values. Gender assignment still happens regularly in big and in small ways throughout our lives. But gender expression is complex. For one thing, it's also culturally determined. I present pretty female in our culture. I don't wear makeup, and I don't color my nails, but I have long hair. It goes actually nearly to my waist, though I typically wear it in a top knot. I'm wearing this thing I call a dress, but it is more accurately described as a one-piece outfit with a loose opening around one's legs. However, around the world, particularly in those areas with hotter weather, men wear similarly, like garb that could be similarly functionally described and is considered completely gender appropriate. And likewise, in some traditional cultures, men wear their hair bound up on top of their head as well, and it is often long. All of which to say is that gender expression is a dance done in context, and in America, that context is shifting. I like to think that my most gender-breaking action is becoming a member of the clergy. Now you laugh, but listen to this. Only 8% of clergy members in the United States are female, 20% if you count non-ordained lay Catholic ministers, but again, I don't know that that's clergy per se. And even as you think, well, surely that's shifting, I want to point out seminary attendance by women is actually dropping. So what? Why does this matter? I want to share a story in answer to that question. There was this one time I went to a community meeting for clergy who wanted to work together with the police in Indianapolis to try to figure out how we could improve community policing and reduce police violence, particularly on community members of color. And I sat there at these big tables. It was like formal seating, a whole huge ballroom. And we were seated at these tables for lunch, and I sat there, and I was pretty much ignored for about 25 minutes. And then one of the men who were sitting next to me turned, and he said, "So, who are you here with?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'm the minister at the Unitarian Church." And he goes, "So you're in charge of the children's programs?" And I said, "No, I'm the minister." And he goes, "With your husband?" And I said, "No, I'm the only minister there." And he goes, "Huh," and he turns away. And then his wife looks at me, because I knew who she was, because I'd been, listening in, and she says cheerily, "I work at my church too." Now, you would think that this is an other people problem, but I would say we have a ways to go. There was a beloved member at our sibling congregation in Annapolis, and as an intern minister, we did some amazing and impactful collaborative work around anti-racism. We were close. We trusted each other, we confided in each other, not just about the work, but also about her complex medical journey. And one day, She looks me right in the eyes and she says, "I'm sorry, but I was raised a Catholic and I could just never accept a woman as a clergy person." And when I went into ministry, I was pregnant, and I'll tell you, search committee after search committee told me that they did not see how a woman could minister and raise a young child at the time. And when I was called to a church, the woman who voted against me said she voted against me for the very same reason. And only later did she say, "You know, I still think that's true. I just didn't know what a great husband you had in Kent." So there are ways that our notions of gender are so deeply within us that we are still struggling for our liberation even here. I have to point out, after 204 years, All Souls has still never called a senior minister, a woman as a senior minister. We are still awaiting. And typically, not only in our churches, but in organizations, when women tend to get the top job, it is often to clean up the messiness that her male predecessors created and left. Amen. Gender identity. Gender identity is what you know about yourself, what you articulate to yourself about who you are and about your gender. There are so many answers beyond the male-female binary. Literally, a small, playful, growing universe of terms that capture the different nuances around gender identity. But I'm going to recommend the words transgender or trans. Transgender is an umbrella term, so if you are not keeping current with the variety of new language that is emerging, it works well and respectfully. What is it to be transgender? Transgender is any time when the identity you know yourself as does not align with the sex that you've been assigned. A transgender individual can be someone who presents as male but knows themselves as female, presents as female but knows themselves as male. It could be someone who chooses to be present in their gender expression in a way that's not aligned with their sex. It could be someone who's decided to undergo hormone or hormone and surgery so that their body matches their gender identity. It could be someone who's gender fluid, little male, little female, perhaps some days more so than others, in either direction. It could be someone who's genderqueer, who goes, "Who I am does not fit in either bucket. It is not here or there. It is something distinct and beautiful in itself." There's even more that I could say, but in short, I'd say that we live in a world diverse in its trans expressionism and diverse in the ways we're pushing and breaking gender norms. Some of my queer friends say that to be queer means to push back against either or, male, female, black, white thinking. It is to embrace a yes and a becoming approach to vitality. And as Unitarian Universalists, we could surely embrace this. So there are wonderful and wondrous trans folk here, and we live in this wonderful and wondrous trans world. To me, it is really an interesting question to ask, why? Why is transgender even a thing? Now, there are different theories. The predominant theory in the 20th century, and still too common today, is that being transgender was rooted in some sort of psychological trauma or harm. Literally, the theory went that people were trans because they probably had a smothering mother and a distant father. If this was true, there'd be way more trans people. Just saying. But in recent decades, geneticists have been looking literally within us for some answers. One of the earliest clues lay in this group of women. They had female autonomy, anatomy, they identified as women, and yet when it came time to give birth, they were experiencing reproductive loss. The doctors determined that their reproductive organs weren't functioning quite right, and they decided to seek a little bit deeper. They realized that the SYR gene for these women was a little mutated. Now, this SYR gene is a very important gene for our discussion today. There's this geneticist, Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee, and he uses a metaphor for the SR gene, saying it is like a light switch. When it's switched on, you're male, and when it's switched off, you're female. On, male, off, female. What the doctors realized about the women who were suffering from reproductive loss is that their SYR gene was mutated, so it was flipped on, but it didn't read as flipped. They were identified as having Sawyer syndrome. Though they had an XY chromosome, their other genetic genes registered as female. The SYR gene is like a battlefield commander. When it's flipped on, it starts yelling out commands to other genes. And if you're developing as a fetus, it's saying things like, turn male, turn male, turn male, go, 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 go. It's meant to cascade all these genes into turning male. Then there are these genes that I refer to as the UU genes, adverse to following directions. Some of them go, I don't think so. Others go, no, honey cakes, that ain't me. The metaphor I use to think about this is the Plinko game when it comes, like the Plinko game in the arcade. Now, if you've ever been to arcade, you might not know what a Plinko game is, but it's the one where you like shoot up this ball and it goes like plink, 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 until it falls into one of these marked cups at the bottom where they're like labeled the number of like tickets you'll get to turn in to like claim a prize. And they start at 10 tickets. But right in the center, there's like one cup that says 1,000 tickets. And the pegs are designed so that almost nothing ends up in the 1,000 tickets. Or in the 500, or in the 250, or in the 750, just saying. But in Plinko, when the ball goes up, sometimes, according to its speed and chance, it might just hit one of those pegs in just a certain way, at a certain angle, at a certain speed, and end up right at that 1,000. So one way to understand the SYR gene and its corresponding, sometimes mutinous genes is that every year there are millions of people who in their bodies and in their genes the SYR and all those little subgenes are in some way or another not aligned. The medical science confirms the reality of transgender individuals. Know and hear that there is not just one way to be transgender genetically. Different switches might not follow the command. There are a number of different Plinko cups the ball could land in. We don't understand them all yet. Some of them might affect how our brain thinks, some the level of bone strength, some affect hair growth or hormone production. It is wondrous to live in such a diverse trans world. And yes, as Alex Capitan wrote in the reading that Lori read earlier, sure, there's biology, and there is certainly choice. There are many choices about how to express yourself as someone who loves, as someone who lives, as someone who delights, as someone who insists. And we should all be choosing ways that help us be more vibrant. Now, the part of the trans identity that gets the most attention, well, from outside the trans community, not inside the trans community, is whether or not someone is going to change their bodies through hormone and or surgery to match their gender identity. I'll tell you, less than half of the trans community is interested in going that route. Some of the people who are in that minority choose to do hormones. Fewer still choose surgery. Some will do a top surgery, and then even fewer still will choose a bottom surgery. This is in part because medical care is harder to access and is highly expensive, and in recent years have become even more restricted and expensive, as insurance has sometimes denied it, but also because the decision to make significant medical interventions, whatever that decision is rooted in a desire to be true to themselves. Many don't take those steps because they know themselves and accept themselves and their body as natural, blessed, wondrous, and wonderfully imperfect, as we all are. They choose to be who they are and accept themselves. We also, all of us, have a choice about whether or not and how we are going to be with the trans community. We need to be real about the necessity here. 88% of trans school-age kids, kindergarten through 12th grade, are bullied. 12% of those young kids are sexually assaulted. Trans people have twice as high typical unemployment rates, have trouble finding apartments and housing. 41% of trans individuals will end up attempting or taking their life. And yet, when asked, what is the number one thing that they want? It's community and love. They don't mean tolerance or everyone getting all the pronouns right or us having lots of rainbow things, though isn't it fabulous? It means radical inclusion. It means a community where they could come as they are and bring all parts of themselves, their gender expression, their relationships, their taste in music, their dance style, how they're dressed, their TV shows, and they want that for you too. They want that for each of us. So we all have a choice. We all can choose. My dear ones, may we recognize that we live in a beautiful, diverse, queer, rainbow, trans world. May we recognize that we have a choice in creating a beloved community where what we put first is our love for one another. May we all be safe and all our lives known as holy. May we live in such a world because we make it so. Blessed be, and amen.
Thank you. I invite you to turn your attention back to the connection card and to the reflection question on the card. This week, Reverend Anastasia invites you to reflect on the question, what has been your most expansive, norm-breaking choice, and what difference has it made? As the music plays, contemplate and reflect on how you would answer this question. Please fill out both sides of the card. Thank you. For all the many reasons that All Souls is my spiritual home, probably the most meaningful to me is that this is the home where my children transitioned. Their participation in the Our Whole Lives program offered here at All Souls is where they began the lifelong process of acquiring information and forming attitudes and values about identity, relationships, safety, and health. Thank you, All Souls, for offering this program, and to the teachers who offered my children, my young adults, the tools and acceptance to live their best and authentic selves. June's Share the Plate recipient is Advocates for Trans Equality, a trans-led organization whose policy experts, litigators, and community organizers work at all levels of government to ensure trans voices are not only heard, but are embraced in rooms where they've long been ignored. They help the trans community navigate the realities of law and policy through vital tools, knowledge, and services. Thank you for giving generously to All Souls and our broader community. Your gifts, along with any connection cards, will now be gratefully received.
as we go forth, may we remember that our presence, our words, our action, our care, our love can invite forward authenticity, community, joy, life. May our beauty shine out bright as the stars from which we came. Whether we come to protest or to party, may we be the sparkling force of love that our world needs. Let us go forth with pride.
This last song, I Need You to Survive, is written by gospel musician and artist extraordinaire, Mr. David Frazier. And this song that has been such a staple in the gospel community has taken wings, and it's been translated and also been used in circumstances and contexts throughout the country. Reverend Anastasia first heard I Need You to Survive at a Trans Day of Remembrance event while she was in seminary. Our very own Lord heard it at an interfaith organizing event. And so we hope that you take these words to heart and sing along with us. I need you, you need me. We're all a part of one body. We're all a part. We're all a part of one body. It is that every need